What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking in Bits, where we walk you through Bitcoin bit by bit so we can provide you with the information you need to succeed and persist. Back for episode 21. We're so grateful for you guys. Ben is back in the house as always. What's up, man?
Bitcoin is dead, bro. It's a scam, I told you.
That's what yesterday was like, huh? But you and I had a ton of fun on the internet.
Yeah, man, yesterday was a crazy day. Got a lot of messages just...
Explain to the people why Bitcoin is not dead, please. Right off the bat, let's go with that.
Yeah, to keep it straight, like, Bitcoin is an idea whose time has come, right? The way it's going to change the world and even the playing field for everyone is something that we've learned that we need as a society to thrive. You know what I mean? And so, you know, there's 7 billion people, and as more and more people, companies, countries adopt Bitcoin, like, this is not going to die. And as we were talking about, like, Bitcoin can survive the end of the world. It can survive nuclear warfare, and it's still going to thrive and want to create more Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, the term unfuckable money couldn't be any more pure. This is untouchable, unfuckable, whatever, you know, term you want to use for it. Yeah. It'll be here way after us, hopefully with our, you know, legacy, and not in the hands of corporate guys, but we'll get into that a little later. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you, man. This is, it's perfect timing. The people have finally received the tool that they need to even the playing field and to, you know, debunk the masquerade that I say they, and that's very general, but you know what I mean? Whoever's pulling the strings, the decision makers or whatever are doing to our livelihoods, to our lives. You know, the most disgusting thing I think about in my head is when I think of humans, us, as being treated as sheep, as cattle. It's just a disgusting thought because there's no reason why, you know, everybody can't be, you know, harmoniously living together. But it's very easy when you put a group of people, a handful of people in power for them to be able to violate that power. And you're right. It's time. Bitcoin has come at the perfect time. It has grown over a perfect time, meaning that it's proven itself with the smaller wars. And now it's fighting the big war, and it's bolstered. It's ready to rock. It has the hive. It has the plebs, everything. Yeah. And yeah, I agree with you. Bitcoin is not dead. Ask any maxi, follow any maxi, and they're going to show you that all this stuff has happened before. I want to lead off with all the FUD. Any ones that we can think of. We have some current ones today. Yeah. We got some that happened over last week. I know you and I were able to hit on Elon last week, but it was fresh off the presses. We didn't really know how to handle it. Yeah. So let's start with Elon. This is all under FUD. FUD, do you want to let the listeners know what FUD is?
FUD is almost like propaganda.
Yeah, it's if I'm not mistaken, it's fear. I forgot the term. I'm gonna look it up right now, just so we don't let the listeners out like that.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's like doctored propaganda to create fear.
Yeah, like fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There you go. I didn't even look it up. That's exactly what it is. So that's what FUD is, guys. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons why people will use FUD, whether it's to try to take something down, whether it's try to distract you from something, or whether it's, you know, for a power move, basically, is usually why FUD comes out. So let's start with Elon. Yeah. You've had a week to kind of digest Elon. Yeah. Elaine. Yeah. I love the flames, man.
Yeah, they've been going at him. I mean, like, I tweeted, like, I can't say I trust someone who wants to put a chip in my brain.
You have said that before to me a bunch of times. Yeah.
And he's telling you you're going to need that chip in your brain to compete with real robots. Like, I don't really trust someone like, you know what I'm saying? Like, And then you see everything he does online, and it's like he's the king of the memes, and like he changed his company position name, like him and his right hand man, to like funny stuff, bro.
It's like fucking with us.
Like, I said he was an alien before. So like
that's documented on the podcast.
That's already my stance. That's like episode 3 we talked about.
Yeah. Elon.
So I don't trust this dude. Like, it's cool that Tesla bought 1.5 billion. That's great. That de-risks, you know, Bitcoin for corporations and high executives or high, you know, net worth people. But we don't need Elon Musk and we don't need Tesla. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about Bitcoin. Like, it doesn't need Tom Brady. It doesn't need Paris Hilton. It doesn't need Soulja Boy on Twitter, you know, trying to get down. Like, it doesn't need Manny Ramirez. Like, it doesn't need your influencers. Maybe. Like, that's what I love, bro. Yeah, no. Like, everything else is like influencer marketing in your face all the time. Now it's influencer marketing with a COVID vaccine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want influencers, fam.
It's nasty, man. Yeah.
It's annoying.
Well, the influencers thrived in the age of fiat. Yeah. So that's the thing. I was actually going to tell you that before you came, is that it doesn't work here. Yeah. And
because the plebs run it.
And they're so used to it working that it's just sickening to watch. On Elon, smartest, dumbest motherfucker to be in the room. If he's not trolling, I think he's trolling. He can't be that stupid.
Yeah, he has to know.
And if he is that stupid, and sometimes it's not stupid. Let me reframe this. Sometimes you are autistically acute on doing certain things perfectly. Sure. So that doesn't make you stupid. That just makes you hyper-focused on certain things.
Well, so when this happened, I talked with a friend about this, and I was like, Elon's smarter than this. He's trolling. He's going to buy more Bitcoin. And simultaneously, like once Tesla's solar panels, like the solar shingles are ready, you'll be able to do that. You'll have a Tesla battery. Yeah. And probably they'll be so good, everyone can have a Bitcoin miner at home.
But people have to like you for that to work.
Yeah.
And if you're the dumbest motherfucker in the room, I don't know what his board is thinking right now.
Yeah.
Because his board must be nuts. You bought $1.5 billion of something that you're actively trying to break down.
My last job, I used to be in my CEO's office all the time.
Yeah.
And like we'd talk after he gets off a board call and stuff. And like, my man, you're the one running the show.
Yeah.
Like you're driving the Titanic. You're the captain here, and you're accountable to the board. Yeah. And like, you know, they're going to ring you out. You know what I'm saying? So imagine being on the board and you follow Elon. And they're probably so old they just have Twitter just to follow Elon. So they're literally watching his page. You know what I mean? Yeah. And seeing the stuff he's saying, like.
And I know I get the subsidiaries from the government and I get all that stuff, and he has to run a business and all that. But let's just say if he's trolling, you suck at trolling. This is a bad troll. This isn't even a smart way to go about it.
So the other play there is like he continues to pump Dogecoin, him, Mark Cuban, all these other people. And so I think his whole thing is like, I mean, even with his Dogecoin tweets and like, oh, I'm working with Doge developers. Is that trolling?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is, because they don't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw somebody actually screen cap the GitHub for the open, and there was nobody on the developer side of it, because you can see it's transparent if it's open source. So it's trolling. He can't honestly be that hypocritical to say, hey, you can plug in my car electric, which comes from coal and all these other sources, and then say, hey, miners, you're doing something bad.
Right.
This is why this is FUD, and it's, you know, probably like you said, a move to just buy more. But this is weird to me because you're devaluing something that you supposedly still hold on your asset board.
Well, then he tweeted yesterday, Tesla has diamond hands.
Which I don't think, I'm going to say I think is trolling more because when he did say, around the time when he announced, Will Clement posted basically that about the amount of Bitcoin that Tesla would have owned was yesterday. Was inserted back into the exchange.
I mean, they probably sold and took profits. Listen, Tesla's not a very cash flow positive company.
They've never, they don't make money.
So, like, now they have cash, but if you can accumulate $1 billion in one move.
But how do you become, from week to, by being a bad troll is the answer, but how do you become, in most people's eyes, one of the smartest people in the world, to now me, somebody who really respects what he does, looking at you as a really good marketer that knows how to get smart people around him?
Yeah.
Because you look back at the PayPal days. Yep. They didn't take off until he got off.
Yeah.
Tesla, I believe, was not even his idea. He kind of just jumped on with somebody else and kind of pushed it creatively. He's always been the marketing guy. He's always been at the front. So now, because you wanted to troll for whatever gain, to buy more, whatever, you literally changed the playing field for anybody who's paying attention to think, this is one of those guys. That's a bad move.
Yeah.
Because if you make Doge pop off,
he's an alien, fam. Like he don't care, bro.
Yeah, you know what? He's probably autistic. I say the same thing about a lot of these guys. They just
I like that you're pointing that out.
Yeah, they just don't care about things outside of their realm. Yeah. And that's, my son's autistic. That's an autistic trait, right? It's just laser focus on certain things. Yeah. And maybe he's just that oblivious. But, back to when people were saying with Trump, take away his phone. If that's the case, you have to take away his phone because he's crushing your company right now. You got people returning Teslas. You got people like...
A lot of people canceling pre-orders.
Why would you... If you're trying to troll, you're doing it bad. He continued it today. He was saying it was like Cyber Viking. It kind of was like a teaser at like a coin maybe or something. I didn't really get what it was about. But he just keeps coming back to the board. Michael Saylor keeps addressing him.
Michael Saylor's been...
Crushing him.
He's been crushing him. He's been gracious.
In a nice way.
And he's been kind about it, man. I respect that dude.
He's willing to debate. I respect that dude as well.
That dude,
just because he's been able to do what a lot of guys, especially in the fiat world, can't do. And that's...
He's a legend, bro.
Get off your high horse and interact with the plebs, right? Like vouch for them, right? Be the George Washington for them. Does that make sense? So to me, it's like, I respect him for that. I don't really know much about his business ethics and all that stuff, so I still wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, one of those things. But yes, for what he's doing for Bitcoin, his representation, I've seen him in conversations like with his time with the plebs, doing podcasts, hopefully he could be on Michael Saylor, what's up?
Right.
But, given his time, and that just shows me that this person has stepped off his horse and is, you know, interacting with the people that matter. Unlike a lot of the people that come into this space. But yeah, Elaine, the pleb's awesome. Elaine, I don't know what you're up to. You and Cuban could go do whatever you want, but this just reminds me that some people just don't do their homework. Or some people don't have the time to do the homework. Fair enough. You're launching rockets to Mars, dude. Got you. You don't have time to read the white paper. You don't have, but you can't then go and talk outside of your approach and then try to pump a coin that when in this podcast, we like to talk about, you know, the sovereignty and the humans, you know, saving technology. Gladstein wrote freedom go up technology. So it's one of these things where it's like, we talk about freedom go up technology and here's this third, second, first richest person in the world playing games with people that still pay rent. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, man. And anybody else too. Listen,
a lot of that on Twitter.
Tom Brady's the only dude that took he took an L in Bitcoin. He's never taken an L. He came back 28-3. My man, you jumped in and you've done nothing but nothing.
Yeah. He said he was buying the dip.
Sure. Where is it? Where is it? Not, on J Will. J Will always tells people, let me see it.
Yeah.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
No, my accountant takes care of that. My man, give me a screen cap with some blurred out shit and show me what you bought. Yeah. Because I don't believe you.
Right.
The price doesn't even reflect it. What'd you buy? $100? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here? So, you said it a little while ago. We don't need these people.
Yeah, if you're looking at, like, the charts, I saw some screen caps that were showing how much Bitcoin was coming off of exchanges. Yeah. I mean, we went down to 29, 30, and right back to 40, 42. Yeah. So, the dip was bought, right? Who bought it? You know, we'll see in some of the tweets, some of the paper trails.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say he has to show me his pockets, but you know, when you say stuff like that, you know, earn the trust of the people is my point. Yeah, you have to be able to show more than just a PR statement that says, "Yo,
laser eyes.
I bought the dip. That's not cool." And then, I'm gonna start an NFT company. Which, by the way, you know, Michael Jordan should do the same thing. You know, these guys should do it. But NFTs could be done on Bitcoin better. Yeah, we'll see more of that soon. I saw a few articles this week.
I'm glad, you know, we've been talking about NFTs, and it comes down to, hey, it's a source file.
It's trash.
You know what I mean? Like, and if that server is offline, peep game. I can have a server for my house. I have a QNAP. QNAP got hacked, and the hackers accessed people like mine. I haven't checked mine yet, but there were people who lost their data. Like, I have a 20 terabyte QNAP, so it's like a RAID 5.
And that's like online cloud storage?
It's local, but you can access it.
Oh, shit.
So if I had an NFT on there and someone hacked my server, my NFT that I paid 10 Ether for or 100 Ethereum, you know what I mean? Like, what happens then?
With 300 in gas fees.
With 3,000 in gas fees, 30,000, you know what I mean? Like, because if my server's offline, you won't be able to get to your NFT. Yeah. So if you're trying to show it on your phone or if you have an NFT, you know, storage display,
you're done. Yeah.
You can't flex.
And those problems could be solved, Tor browsers and all that stuff. But I get your overall point, which is people are tossing up millions of dollars towards these things for that vulnerability to happen. Yeah. And this is why we go back to this. You know, listen, I don't care if Mark Cuban does whatever the hell you want. Yeah, the Mavericks ain't even that good. Are the Mavericks good? What are we talking about here?
Right. The Mavericks were good when Nash was there, bro.
When they still got that $4 Luke. They got Luke right now?
Luka's disgusting.
Okay, bro. He's like the new Dirk.
He's better, bro. Because he's a little smaller.
And he's powerful. Yeah. I see him like a heavy set power dude. Yeah. But anyways, I don't really care. Like if the problem is that whenever this stuff tries to scale, and this is why it's called a shitcoin season, because whenever this stuff starts to scale, they always get exposed for the stuff that they can't do properly. And Bitcoin has already done this. We talked about a little while earlier. The wars have been fought already. Like the shit that Elon could come out, and this is the last Elon thing I want to say, because I also don't think we should be even bringing this guy up. This is right into his advantage. Fuck him. You know, when we're talking about missiles, let's talk about missiles, but we're not talking about missiles right now. So the thing is he needs to. I lost my train of thought on that. But my whole point is that with Elon, when he's saying that 10x the transactions and 10x the block speed and all, what he doesn't understand is that he thinks that the Bitcoiners have not already tried this.
Yeah, we don't need speed.
No, it's been tried. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work without compromises. Yeah. You have to give something up in order to get this to work.
Based on its design.
And where we're at right now, we're at the perfect spot where if we fuck with the formula, it all goes to shit.
Yeah.
Especially proof of work.
That's why...
He's an idiot.
Yeah, that's why layers are being built on Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
He has to know this.
And he has to... Yeah, so listen, he tweets about... like Lord what is it? Lord of the memes, and like he who runs the memes runs the world. Like he openly says this shit, bro. So,
but I don't like that people pay attention to it. I really don't, and I know it's that type of.
He's just good marketing, man.
Yeah, but now, I used to see him as the guy that's trying to get us off this planet, which he is still trying to do. Mm-hmm. But now, once again, I question, what's your team around you? Are they getting us off the planet, or are you getting us off the planet? I think it's they. Kudos to you for putting a good team together. Yeah. But they should get more love and more attention, because right now everybody thinks Elon is doing all this incredible stuff. And although he's a smart guy, he may just be hyper-focused on one thing and missing everything else. Yeah. Why is the third rich... Now, back to the Joe Rogan and Bill Gates, who should you get health advice meme that I've been going around. Obviously, the guy that looks like he's fucking brolic, right? So back to the thing. Why am I listening to the third richest person in the world trying to tell me about financial information? My man... You can tell me how to run those games, but you can't tell me what to do with my money. And I hate when people, because he does SpaceX and all this, will put their money in his faith. They'll either buy Tesla stock, they'll buy Dogecoin, or they'll follow his every word. If he says sell, you'll sell. That's paper hands, and we're used to those things. But once again, you go from being the smartest guy in the room to the smartest, dumbest motherfucker in the room. He's the guy that got drunk first at the party. And everybody kind of like, you sit down, my man. Like, you kind of had too many.
He deleted some tweets. I think somewhere he called Michael Saylor, like Mike Giga Chad something.
Yeah, I remember him saying Sailor Moon to Michael Saylor. And it's like, once again, like, be a professional. Right. And if you're on shrooms and shit, because whatever. Like, that's, whatever. Yeah. I'm with that. But you got to take off your microphone. I mean, not the microphone. You got to get the phone away from you if this is what's coming out. But I don't know what his Tesla board feels like. This could be all part of the plan. I do still have like a 0.5% chance where I think it's testing how rigorous this network is. Like, if I throw a freaking fireball at this thing, is it going to break or is it going to survive? And then put more money when it shows that it's resilient.
They have to be talking about how to create renewables for residential. Make
a problem that they can solve.
Yeah, they have solar panels in their shingles, and they're prettier than what is out there now. Those big rectangles. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So they're going to make a new problem, stir one up, and then they'll solve it. Like, we got those panels that the miners need to be using or whatever, or something like that. It's just a bad take. Bad move on him. I don't want to talk about him. Let's go on to the next FUD. So we could China. You want to talk about China?
Yeah. So what is it? Reuters posted an article that China bans Bitcoin, but it's a pretty much recycled article data from years ago, but people don't kind of read articles.
FUD, man.
So it's just more fear, uncertainty, and doubt to scare people out of crypto. And I mean, where is that coming from? Who's directing that?
Yeah.
The central bank? The Federal Reserve?
The rich asses that want to take our shit.
The elite? Like, who's paying for that? Because it's not coming from them.
Whoever's paying for the altcoins to pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, same people.
Yeah.
It's easy to, proof of stake, right? That centralized thing, right? Yeah. And then proof of work, which is, it runs the world. I'm actually working on writing a piece on my opinions of proof of work. And it's just that, man. It's like the stuff that we take for granted every day in life. Like, for example, when you propose to your wife and she said yes, your proof of work is the reason she said yes. She trusts you. She feels secure with you. And what you've done up to that point has given her the validation, the consensus to agree to that. And I think our resume, same thing, is a time-stamped proof of work, right? Like, everything is proof of work. What's going on with everybody, and this is why getting money for free is a problem, right? When we get political in this thing, but if they continue to give people free money, they're not going to do anything. They're going to stay home because it's free money. That's proof of stake. So now the entity, the big stakeholder, controls what's happening, what's not happening, who's spending, who's not spending. I've heard things about putting expiration dates on certain dollars for certain types of classes of people, right? So now we're getting
They talked about that in China.
Yeah. So, like, we're getting to that point where we need to be aware of this stuff. And this is why we're so gung-ho on this, for sure. Bitcoin, everybody deserves Bitcoin, but they need to do their homework. I told you this before the show, but it's important because I don't know if everybody listens to Bitcoin Tina. You should. Bitcoin Tina is awesome. Bitcoin Tina is a boomer, and a boomer that's very loud and vocal for Bitcoin. He cares for Bitcoin. But every time somebody comes into a room and says the word, I believe in Bitcoin, because usually new people say that, like, I believe in what it stands for. He stops them and he just reminds them, don't believe. And he uses the example of, if you're on you believe in your brakes working. But when you're on a highway and you're going 80 miles an hour and your brakes don't work, your belief goes out the window. You don't care. You just lost it. And that's when you have paper hands and you don't have belief. You just go, right? But he's like, go do your work. Yeah. Proof of work. Go educate yourself. Stay solid. You know what I'm saying? Stay solid in the conviction and understand what you have so you can value it. And with a lot of the stuff, the article where 75,000 traders got liquidated on Bitcoin, that just shows that a lot of people still don't know what this thing is and don't value it for what it is.
Yeah, people, I mean, someone I know, they were down $500,000.
Just Bitcoin, just a portfolio?
I think on Bitcoin.
Why? Can you explain that to the listeners? How does that happen? You get wrecked, but how does that happen?
You got to be really, really brave, right? Okay. Just to trade that amount of money. Yes, you got to be good. I mean, and he's not broke. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to have to sell his house or anything. Like, he's good. He has an account, but one of his accounts blew up. Yeah. But yeah, so you can go to an exchange like Binance and you can say, I want to trade and I want to trade with leverage. Okay. And so if you have 500 in the bank with the leverage that they give you, you're actually going to have like 5 million.
Okay.
So then you can say, all right, I'm long on Bitcoin here at like 52, and then the sell-off happens and it goes down to 30, and your entire position just got liquidated in a second, and your account is negative 500 million in the red. And you're watching Bitcoin go from 45 to 44 to 43 to 42, now, all the way down to 30, bro.
Is liquidation permanent? Like, when you say you lose your position, is it like you can fix it, or is it gone?
You lose that money, and then if you want to get that account back up, you got to insert more money.
But you lose it. Even if you put more money in, you still lose it.
Yeah, bro, you lost that trade, fam. And the other way around. If you're long on Bitcoin in a trade, say at 50, and Bitcoin runs up to 52, 55, like, you're up. Yeah. You know what I mean? The other way. So you're up 100 grand at that point.
Yeah.
Wow. But when it goes bad, my man.
I don't want to play that.
Yeah. It's nuts. And so there are memes with like traders, and it's like, it's that old white dude. There's always multiple versions of him in the meme. Yeah. And it's like the old guy with the thumb up and the smile. Yeah. But it was like, me at 20, and it's like a picture of you at 20, and then me at 30, and it's like that. And I'm a full-time trader, you know what I'm saying? Because it's stressful. Yeah. That's why I stopped for a bit, because it's like...
And you can swing high too, though.
Even,
the other hand.
Yeah, my man Joey, he was trading. He bought a course. He was making like 30-40% a day. Yeah. But it's stressful, and it's time-consuming. So,
that's like,
tough. Do you want that stress?
Yeah, you got to be a certain type of dude.
Yeah.
A certain type of person.
Maybe like a poker player, right? They play under stress.
I guess you're right. There's
I wonder if traders are poker players. So I'm going to ask that.
Now that you say that, I have I thought he was a boomer. I apologize to him. I call him a boomer. He's a Gen Xer, right next to that, whatever. But I talk to him frequently, and he's the only one that kind of gets where this is going, right? It's like we talk deeply.
Listen, the Biden administration, they're talking about we're going to get basically stimulus for our kids.
Yeah,
do you see that?
Yeah. No,
people don't see this universal basic income writing on the wall.
I talked about it at work. I was like, I'm a person that can benefit from this because I have kids, and I'm still like, no, please no, because this is a bad idea.
This is how you crash it, my man.
But it's already been done. It's just how long?
Someone had tweeted, they were like, what's going on is that the economy is already dead. It just hasn't been marked to the market yet. Yeah. Right. And that's like market language. Yeah. But it's like the way out is Bitcoin. Because, again, once UBI happens, everything's just going to collapse, crumble. Yeah.
Which goes back to the point of, like, why are you wasting your time on things that can't promise these type of outcomes, right? Like, ain't nobody ever say, yo, I'm going to go cross seas with my Ethereum in my pocket. Ain't nobody, like, why? I understand trading, and I understand that I'm not a trader, meaning, like you just said, you need to have a pair of balls to do that. I don't do that. Fair. But even with all that, even if you have balls, why? Yeah. Why? When you know whether you're trying to, there's a dude that hit me up on Twitter that was like, yo, have you seen the percentages on Ethereum over? Yo, my man, you are chasing the same exact thing that you are running away from. Yeah. That, if it's not a rat race, it's a rat race. Yeah. Like, you're trying to 50x into money that's going down 10x as you try to get 50 of it. What are you talking about? I don't understand that but it goes back to, I did my homework. A lot of people have not.
Yeah. I mean, some people, it's their day job, right? So they can literally quit their day job and trade. So it becomes their paycheck. Yeah. And then if you have a full-time job, you can still do it. You can do it from your mobile phone.
And you get wrecked and end up in McDonald's.
And you can get wrecked and, eat corn dogs for a year.
I love corn dogs, too.
I do love corn dogs, too. Especially at the Big E, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I rolled with some noodles for a while. Yeah, we rolling. I understand. Yeah, it's not for everybody. But
for some people, it's a day job. So, but yeah, I favor with Michael Saylor when he says, like, people who trade Bitcoin don't understand it. Yeah. Because if you just buy and hold it, it's infinitely better.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, let's go into the public service. It seems like in this podcast announcement, but the BlockFi situation, which is why you
tell us what happened.
Well, I would say my point with the Michael Saylor point that you just made to tie it together is that just by holding it, you're doing enough things. You're doing enough good things. The 4%, 6%, soon to be 2%, 1%, whatever the hell they're going to do, it's just not worth it for this type of thing that we're talking about.
Well, and I mentioned the other exchange, they're going to offer 16%, and you're like...
As long as I can hold my keys.
That's through a multi-sig. I had that conversation with a friend too, man.
Yeah, shout out to Unchained Capital.
Yeah, Unchained. Yeah. I followed them on Twitter recently.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I'm gonna look at them.
Yeah. No, we have the vault set up, and it's natural to just go right from your vault to a loan. And you hold the keys. It's perfect. Unchained Capital is doing great things.
That's awesome.
Bitcoin-friendly company. Every week we come in here and talk about the BlockFi because for a little bit they seem to be the only poppin' financial company, but they're not Bitcoin native companies. They're fiat native companies that are trying to extract coins. That's why they can't lean into Bitcoin, and that's why they have to talk about Ethereum and getting Litecoin and all that stuff.
Well, what if BlockFi was like, hey, we're rolling out a multi-sig?
I don't care.
No?
Nope.
Too late?
Too late, but I could just tell that because you put emphasis on other coins, which may be smart for their business. I'm not. You're not a Bitcoin native company, and for me, maybe I'm a little bit more.
I think they're doing a lot of corporate, and corporations some corporations are putting a trust fund together, and they're adding Ethereum. And they're adding Litecoin.
Sure.
So it's a company interest. But no, I hear you. That's why I like Swan Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's another person too. The person that sees that as a come up. The person that listen, good business is good business, but to me that's good business in the traditional world, not in the actual world. If you could leverage what Jack Mallers did perfectly, what Unchained Capital does perfectly, a few of them, CashApp, what all these companies do perfectly is they don't tell you to trust their services. They tell you to trust the protocol. And when you do your homework and you find out what a multi-sig is, you can see where sky's the limit with this type of technology. And it's only going to get better with Taproot. Yeah. So, to use the meme, you have no power here, BlockFi, because you are a bank. Yeah. They say it up front. They're not hiding that they're financial. But Unchained Capital is a financial institution.
Yeah, and they got a multi-sig.
It's not about multi-sig is the way they do it. Yeah. It's that they understand the asset. Yeah. They built their whole company off of Bitcoin alone. You won't see Unchained Capital, and I don't want to speak for them. This is just personal. I don't think you'll see Unchained Capital saying, hey, we just started rolling out this type of coin. I just don't think so. Yeah. What does that mean for us, the consumer? We get a better experience. Absolutely. I've gone through the Unchained Capital setup for the multi-sigs or whatever for freezing storage. Boom, 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 boom. Button, 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 button. It's fantastic. It's smooth. It's the smartest idea ever. They can't take your money. I had a buddy tell me, but they got on the server, they got all three keys and they could mimic like it's you. That doesn't work that way. When you go to sign out a transaction, both keys have to be on hand. You signed on the hardware device. You don't sign by telling them. So they would have to get your seed words.
Good point.
Or get your hardware device in order to sign this transaction out.
Gotcha.
What I recommend for anybody jumping on Unchained Capital, anybody, what I highly recommend is you set up a vault. It's very easy. You send money into the vault, but you also learn how to use the two keys to unlock it. Do it with your loved one. I did. So they can also see that they have that power in their hand. And you will see that Unchained Capital with your hardware devices has made it easy for you to be able to sign these transactions and keep it moving. So do a small transaction in, and do one where you both actively sign out. Gotcha. And then once those transactions clear, put put the behemoth of a stash that you got or whatever in there, and Unchained Capital, as long as they exist, will support the third key. Yeah. If you're passing, your spouse is passing, whatever, you can always use Unchained as a key. Another point that a few of my buddies try to make. Well, what happens if Unchained Capital goes? Good question. They already figured that out. So they allowed you to download a file that you can encrypt, or you could just have it somewhere safe because it's only public information that allows you to recreate the wallet even if they don't exist. So their public key is in your possession as well. Fire. And then you could go to Caravan, which is done by them, but it's open source GitHub. It's a page you can go to, and you could load that file up, and it'll regenerate that wallet for you, and then you can sign the funds. And then you got a fresh wallet. Well, not a fresh wallet. You'll recover it, and you'll be able to sign the funds out and move it somewhere else, or be able to have access to your funds.
What do you think about putting your seed phrase on a USB, in a Word doc, and then putting that in a safe?
No. I mean, listen, you have to be paranoid in this space. We're talking about something you'll never get back, and human error is a very big reason for people to lose their coins. Yeah,
I'm just trying to think how to diversify my seed. In general, like how people are doing it. What
do you mean diversify?
Just all right, you can write it on paper. You can engrave it in metal. Yeah. You could, what else are people doing?
I mean, multi-sig is key before that because then you just split it into different places, right? Gotcha. You want it in different locations. So you just want to spread that out. But the thing is everybody has their own level of paranoia. You should be worried if you're not paranoid. Yeah. But if you're just going about it day by day, like if it's a USB stick. This is not a USB stick. This is your digital signing device. And signing something like a contract, it's super important. And back to BlockFi, and we'll get into what happened with them. they should honor that money that they fucked up, because when you sign something out, it's a one-way trip. It's not hey, we send it back. So if they were a Bitcoin native company, and I'm not saying that it was a lot of money, I'm not saying I think a Bitcoin native company would honor something like that, or at least work out a compromise. Hey, you send us half, we'll give you the other half as a reward because our screw up. Something, because they understand by cryptography nature, this is a one-way trip. You signed. That's what your hardware wallet is, guys. It's a digital signing device to be able to make moves with private keys.
But it's not in the person's possession. It's just in their debit account at a bank.
Don't put
it's the same thing. I've seen banks. There's been stories where banks put, like, a man opens his bank account. He sees $5 million. He goes immediately to the bank to get dough out. Yeah. Or to the ATM. And it's the same thing. I
wouldn't put it on a memory card or anything like that, because you have to do a lot of trusting. You have to trust your operating system. You have to trust the applications that are running in the background. You have to trust your USB drive. You have to trust the card. There's so many things you have to trust. And in Bitcoin, you can't verify any of that. You just trust it. Bad idea, usually. Yeah. So you air gap it. You make sure your private keys are created.
Can you explain what air gap is?
I think we talked about it in the past, but air gapping is basically when your hardware device never touches a USB device. So you basically, work on memory cards, but all the private information it's only known by the device, the hardware wallet. It's not known by the computer.
Gotcha.
Because when you export the card, you're getting the XPub, the public file.
Gotcha.
So at that point, when you generated your seed words, and every time you sign and do something with your seed words, you never touch an internet connected device ever. Air gapping is big. There's hardware wallets where you don't need to air gap, Trezor, Ledger, blah, blah, blah. Those are pretty safe too, but paranoia is good. And when you're extremely paranoid, like I am, air gapping is clutch. Code card, best for air gapping. I haven't done it yet, but they've done something cool with seeds where you can actually split your 24 words into two different, like 12 and 12, and it still works, like that. And I think you can make like a dummy one.
Fire.
Like if you get, $5 wrench attack, and you could just be like, oh, well, these are my seeds. And then we'll let them into a wallet, the person who's jacking you, but it's not the right wallet. So it's like, I love Cold Card. I love Coin Kite.
Dope.
Yeah, listen.
Before you go, how much was the, a Cold Card?
Cold Card is about $125.
Okay. Yeah. That's competitive with the Nano.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. What I did was, if your loved one or your second key holder or whatever is not going to do a lot of transactions, then you can get a Trezor, I forgot the model, for like $60, like $50, $60.
That's fair.
If they're going to do a lot of transactions and use it as a hardware, I would go Cold Card all day. No Ledger, no none, go Cold Card all day.
Yeah, I'm going to probably get one.
Yeah, don't let people tell you that it's confusing. It's really not confusing. If you know how to run DOS, you can run a Cold Card. And the resources, I actually had somebody ask me this earlier on a call that I was on, if I've ever messed up on cold storage. And I had to say no. I am a tech savvy type dude, but the resources out there are pretty bang, bang, boom. Like
running Ledger is super easy on mine.
Yeah.
Super easy. But is the Cold Card, is it going to be a program like that, or is it literally going to be like DOS, like you're typing code?
You're only generating a wallet with your Cold Card. So where you choose to see that wallet, it's up to you. I choose Electrum because I have a node, and I can reference my node for the, but you could use it on Blue Wallet. You could, right? Because this is now a brand new guarded wallet.
Gotcha.
And then you would use it to sign certain things. Like so on a multi-sig, the device is required to sign. Yeah. And you can air gap your signature, which is fantastic. For people that are listening to Unchained Capital, and this is not even an ad, this is just how much I love their service. You can...
But cut the check, though.
Yeah, we would love some sponsors. But Unchained Capital, they made it so easy. But keep in mind, anybody listening who's thinking about it, go check them out. They only work Ledger at the moment, Cold Card, and Trezor. Those are 3 hardware wallets they support. But technically, which I see them opening it up to more wallets in the future, I don't know this for sure, but a partially signed Bitcoin transaction, which is a PTST file, as long as a wallet supports that, I think it would work with Unchained.
Gotcha.
So just make sure you get the wallets that they recommend. But I could see in the near future them saying, hey, as long as you have a partially signed Bitcoin transaction, you should be good to be able to run it here. And I think most wallets do support that. I'm not sure for sure. But
cool.
Yeah, Unchained Capital, check it out. But this goes back to Bitcoin native. Let's not native companies and why they're big. Always look for a Bitcoin native company. They respect your asset. They let you hold your keys. Their philosophy is in. BlockFi's, their best interest is their business. And that shows. BlockFi yesterday morning accidentally sent 700 Bitcoin to about, I don't know if all of them got it, but it was about 100 people that got money they weren't supposed to get. It was supposed to be paid in US dollars. They paid it in Bitcoin. Huge difference.
Imagine the person who hit enter on that, bro.
Fired.
And you got to tell your boss that you just sent out 700 Bitcoin, fam.
Fired. Yeah. to about 100 people.
Mind you, Bitcoin's, going down. It was probably going from, 50s to 30s.
Yeah. So
all that happened.
Public service weekly announcement.
Yeah.
Not your keys, not your cheese.
Yeah.
We just talked about a real cool way where you could get more protection with Unchained. Mm-hmm. That's a real cool way to still have your own keys and have that protection that people so want.
Yeah.
It's really cool to power and do it yourself, but people really just want like that feeling of a bigger company helping them out.
Yep.
Then go with one you can trust.
Yeah.
And multi-sig, it's just a no-brainer. You can't get beat, quote unquote, in the sense that they can steal your wallet in the back end. At least nobody's done it yet. If it happened, change it. Taproot's going to make that even stronger. But yeah, and then BlockFi, not only did you scare the living crap out of all your customers, thankfully I only stablecoin them to death. So I was just laughing because I know that Gemini backed and they'll just give me my dollars. I ain't worried about that. Right. But sometimes I like to use that stablecoin as dry gunpowder. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so not only did you have everybody scared, you caused people from making a lot of money.
Yeah, well, what I was saying earlier is anytime there's a big price swing, Coinbase goes down, Coinbase Pro goes down, Binance goes down, Binance US goes down. And if it's not a Google Authenticator overload, they'll say it's a server load. But here's the deal. Swan Bitcoin was still doing business yesterday.
Thank you, sir.
You know what I mean?
Bitcoin-friendly company.
A Bitcoin-friendly company understands they've set up their business, so they're not going to get jammed like a regular exchange, and there is no sell button because you buy and hodl forever. Right, that's how this works.
You don't own your coins on Swan, but yes, Bitcoin-friendly company. They'll send it to your cold storage. Yeah. They understand the asset. Jan's a great person. We had him on the show. He wrote.
Corey's on Twitter.
Yeah, all these guys. And Cafe Bitcoin is huge. They're fantastic. Bitcoin-friendly company. That's the common trend, and this is why I'm turned off by legacy trying shit. I don't care if these people could make multi-millions of dollars. That is the old world.
Yeah,
that's the world of Warren Buffett. We don't live in that world anymore, and I no longer. The meme always pops up in my head. You have no power here. You have no power here. We don't care. You either help me protect this asset, or please get out the way for somebody to help me protect this asset.
Yeah,
that's it. And Unchained did it in a dope way because naturally you just move over to a loan. Why wouldn't you? It's there, and you still own the keys. Why would you not? So listen, you stopped a lot of people from getting into their accounts because of your slip up, and nobody's perfect. Things happen. But you honored it in a cheesy way. You chased people with legal action. That was your mess up. Cryptography is a one-way trip. You can't tell people you're going to sue the living lights out of them to fix something that you messed up. And then they go on and say, well, that money wasn't part of our actual customer, whatever. This may be true.
Yeah.
But boy, did you panic like it was. Boy, did you panic like you guys were in some deep
I can't imagine what was going on in their office, or if they're working remote, they're probably Zooming.
And this is why we talked about it briefly. This is why you can't respect these so-called I'm not going to call them.
Just call them the suits.
Well, I was going to say wannabe maxis, but you can't follow these people to a T. Yeah. Jason Williams, let's bring it up. Yeah. I think what the dude is. I think the vibe of Parabolic is incredible. I think everybody should have that type of energy. I think everybody should do what if I'm not mistaken, he's a broke through from Queens, right? That came up. And, listen, this is not a diss. This is how he conducts his business or whatever. Yeah. The night before the BlockFi thing happened, he was in a room expressing to a room of 1,000 people probably against Tina, against Hodl, against a bunch of people that were there. British Hodl, a bunch of people there. Why leaving your money on an exchange was a smart thing.
What were his points?
Awesome points, which is points that you and I have made. If you put $5 million in there, you're going to be able to live off of interest, basically, what's his point. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And a lot of people were telling him, kudos, good point.
Yeah.
And it takes a set of cojones, Parabolic, right? To do so.
Yeah.
But how much respect do you have for that thing that you're possessing if you treat it in that fashion? I guess was the point other people were trying to make. And you can make so much money off the asset alone that the risk reward there, for the majority of the people, maybe Jason Williams is just so well off that this is just a blip. But if I'm not mistaken, he says that he's 100 in. Like he's in.
Yeah. We were just talking. He bought 500 Bitcoin miners from China.
Yeah. A while ago. In the book. Yeah, plug the book if you want.
Yeah. So he has a book, Bitcoin Hard Money You Can't Fuck With. Chapter 2, he says, it was a Saturday. Yeah. And the FBI were looking for me. They showed up at my door. Are you Jason Williams? Here are these bank accounts. You ordered 500 Bitcoin miners from China. And I was like,
the visit you don't want.
Dog, I'd be blue in the face if the Fed showed up. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
and I was so surprised by their point, but they said that they showed up because he has all those miners, but his energy bills haven't changed.
Yeah.
And he found a way to create renewable energy to power all those miners to accumulate more Bitcoin.
That's what that parabolic
Dude's a genius, bro.
Yeah, and
Dude's a genius.
He talks like that. He moves like that. He's always like moving. Parabolic is the perfect way to explain that guy. He's good. And this is not. This is just to bring up the highlighted point of
no keys, no cheese.
Yeah, no, of just when you in his situation. I mean, yeah, with Bitcoin, get the keys, man. I don't care what anybody says, but don't listen to these guys because then he falls into a situation where because he's on the board of BlockFi, he has to represent both sides. So he respects the plebs. I know he does, and I know he's a stacker. But you also now gotta publicly show face, especially when you're in a room full of 1,000 people ranting on why they should leave it on there. Yeah, he wasn't specifically saying BlockFi, but it's a given. That's where you post. That's where you got it. Yeah. And all the other Bitcoiners were just trying to tell him basically what I kind of come on this podcast and say all the time, which is like, you don't know where this thing is going, man. Yo, BlockFi will do that. I bet Jason Williams himself was blocked out of that account. Was he worried? Maybe not. But he also has inside knowledge. They could call him up and be like, yo, you good, fam?
You got to get on the Zoom, Jason. We need to borrow 200 mil. You good for that, my man?
He got that.
Right?
Yeah, but
that has to be happening. If imagine if BlockFi was 200 million or 100 million like in the hole yesterday or whatever it is, any company, right?
Yep.
What do?
Yeah.
They call a rich friend or they get some type of, it's like a balloon loan.
Yeah. Let me one up you on that. What happens if there's a bank run? Which is probably happening, by the way. Yeah. But what happens when everybody's knocking my Bitcoin? Yeah. Now that whole GBT shares in the background that's happened is going to really show something because you got to honor all these withdrawals, man. Yeah. And they make it harder and harder to get your withdrawals out. I had $200 in gunpowder turned into Bitcoin. I took it off yesterday. Yo, I put an address from my cold storage device. Not no crazy coin joining transaction then. They told me it was an invalid wallet address. And it was a BC1 address, which means it's native SegWit. It's the
It's the original.
Right. You want to know what address they took? A hot wallet one from CashApp.
Because they're working like a debit card, bro.
It's a small amount. Yeah. Right. So I wasn't nervous because whatever, it was just dry gunpowder purchase. Yeah. But why are you not letting me take? Like, what's going on?
Why can't I send them my cold storage?
A few months ago when I did my big amount, they sent me an email saying, "Yo, man, my man, scan your face for us." For what? Yeah. For what?
So we can match it with your ID.
Because you don't have it in the background, and now you got to go do some charade to prove to them that Jose's calling for it so that you can take it from them. Jose's just a speculator. All right. Anyways, you could go to BlockFi, you can do whatever you guys want. Do your homework on this stuff. The maxis keep reminding us that these companies come and go. Yeah. And they've come every bull run, and they come every cycle. Guess who's kind of newish on the block, at least with popularity? BlockFi. Right. So just own those keys. Go to Unchained Capital. Go to other places that are at least multi-sig. Or you can do a multi-sig on your own. It's not Unchained Capital. It's just convenient that they're a company that you can go to and get help if that works. Bitcoin friendly. Swan, Bitcoin friendly. Hey, we need to get some sponsors on this.
We need some sponsors. Bro.
Hey, man, we Bitcoin friendly.
Cut the check, man.
Yeah, reach out to us, man. But anyways, that happened. Scary stuff. Keep your keys, guys. I'm done with BlockFi. I stable coin them to death, but that's because I haven't figured out a better place to put my stable coin. Once I figure that out,
it's free Bitcoin.
Yep, Hodl Hodl. Once I figure out where to put my stable coin to work for me, I'll probably close my BlockFi account. Enough's enough. Interest moves, shady information in the background. You guys always come out with this pompous response to everything. And they've never once said, hey, y'all, we're going to take this one on the chin. They always come back with some pompous PR stunt.
We talked about it. If they would have made it a meme or if they would have created a video of them firing someone, like that's the move to make. Like, make it a joke, bro.
Yeah, I need to hire Ben.
And then apologize, right? Like, I should be shooting the video.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I need to hire Ben because that's the perfect. That's the only way you could have flipped this around.
You need a better PR team. If they would have made this like an epic meme video, or something. Yeah, something.
Just give them something. Yeah, give them something like, hey, just barter. Hey, we messed up. Out of good spirits. This is our offer. Can we do something to turn this around? Yeah. I mean, most people would be like, nah, but then they could do whatever they want. But I saw, and they were just chasing legal action right off the bat, and it's like, well, wait a minute, y'all screwed up. Yeah. What y'all talking about? Like, Google can't sue me if they send me a wrong email. Right. They can't do that. Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, that's what happened. A lot of FUD. Don't sell.
A lot of FUD. Keep stacking. Keep buying.
Stacking. This is the time.
If you like Bitcoin at $64,000, you should love it. Yesterday should have been like Christmas.
Stack.
You should have been stacking.
That's all we did. And continue to stack, guys. Don't let all the FUD change you. If you feel conflicted, go check out the maxis because the maxis are just going to remind you that every time there's a cycle, these same stories come out, these same attacks come, these same companies come up, and these same coins come up, and guess what happens when the destruction happens, which if you looked at the chart yesterday, which I'm sure you have, everything was just crumbling. Guess who wins out of that?
Imagine how many people bought coins up 40%, trying to get rich. They buy at the top. Yesterday happens. Their accounts are liquidated.
That's what happens, man. I mean? Like, traders get wrecked, and that's why I took a stance on that, man. I'm not entertaining those things. First of all, it's not my job to. I would be wrong to try to tell somebody how to trade because I don't trade.
Yeah.
But back to doing your job. Stop with that stuff. Go do your homework. Even if it's go do your homework on Ethereum. Go do your homework on Ethereum. That's fine. Find out where your conviction is and debate whoever you want. But if you notice, they call them hornets, they call them whatever. I call them just smart people. Every time somebody has something to say, it doesn't go untalked about. It's not like the Bitcoiners just do the, right. No, we come hard. Hey, whoa. Well, this is the information. This is the proof. Here's the facts. Here's the articles. Nobody tries as hard as Bitcoiners do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm rolling with that squad. That's the squad. I'm not rolling with the ones that are like, oh, that messed up. Don't worry. We'll announce something new in a few months and we'll just move on. Everybody will forget about it. Right. That's not what I'm rolling with. And I the traders could get hit and make a living and, like you said, make a day job. I care for the dude that puts $50, $100 every single week. The real pleb that literally is trying to go out there and make it happen. And unfortunately, because Elaines of the world and certain people like that, those people can't get the real information they need to change their lives, to transform everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm passionate about when it comes to Bitcoin. The technology is dope. But that's the tool that we have. I hate anybody who tries to debunk that because go see Alex Gladstein. Go see Michael Saylor. Go see, the Jans of the world. Go see anybody who knows anything, not only about value, currency, and business and anything in that nature, but philosophy, and anybody that has lived outside of the United States. Go listen to these people.
There was an article, I forget the website, it was Bitcoin something. It showed 3 people's perspectives who lived outside of the U.S. And how Bitcoin is changing day to day for them and their communities.
I think that's Gladstein's article. Yeah, check your privilege. Shout out to Gladstein. Yeah. He's probably
fantastic article, man.
He's probably the hottest writer right now in Bitcoin. That's not a diss because there's a lot of hot ones. He's the hottest writer right now. He did the petrodollar article.
Yep.
Alex Gladstein is a very knowledgeable guy. And he explains it perfectly. And I think in that article is when he brings up freedom go up technology. Because I know a lot of people, especially investors, say numbers go up technology, which it is. Freedom go up technology is what this thing really is. And I love that he coined that. I don't know if it was his original thought, but that's where I picked it up from. Yeah. Beautiful stuff going on. And once again, these guys are trying hard. Hit me up with the last really thoughtful and deep, insightful Ethereum article. Did you share that with me? Oh, yeah. Nah, nobody shared that because they don't exist.
Yeah, literally.
So, like, you think about the businesses that you do business with every day. Bezos doesn't write a newsletter to people. Why?
Right.
Keep buying, right? Ethereum, same thing. Why? Nobody's writing newsletters, right? I'm sure there's people who are. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's covering their coin like Bitcoiners cover their coin.
Yeah.
And that shows a lot because when you're trying to make these decisions, especially as somebody who's living check to check, you need to have conviction. And conviction cannot come from a celebrity. Conviction cannot come from a charlatan. Conviction cannot come from systems that are proof of stake when since the beginning of time, mates, food, hunting, we relied on proof of work to survive. The caveman that chose to stay inside the cave probably died.
Yeah.
Because he had no proof of work to show. The caveman that went out there and hunted was able to feed, was able to survive. That's his proof of work. That's super important. I don't know what these arguments are about, but that just shows the state of the internet. Right? Everybody's lost their fucking mind. I want to get through a few of these real quick. Compass Mining, I just saw this before we started.
My rigs went online yesterday.
How about this? How you doing with that before we even give them any?
Good. My rigs went on a few days early. They're online. Yeah. I can see what's going on in the F2 pool account. It's just a readable account. I can't edit anything. I think I can request that.
Makes sense.
But yeah, man, they're mining. Electricity in Nebraska is cheaper. That's where the miners are.
Super cool.
I'll pay a hosting fee, but I think it'll still be cheaper than mining in my own house.
Sure. Yeah, the only trade-off is the experience in itself. Yeah. But yeah, I still like the way you moved it for sure. Yeah. And the real cool thing about it is you were able to hash up because you were able to take that leverage to not own it, to not host it, to not, and that's really cool because I figured out that hashing is what it's all about. The more hashing you got, the more profits you're gonna get. So the only trade off you did is just the hands-on experience. But that's dope. Compass Mining seems to be doing
when I
things.
get a house, I'm still gonna, or a bigger house, I'm still gonna get. I'll probably have a few rigs, bro.
And I'll up you up on that when I start to get a little more though up. I might go that route as well to stack on top. I just have to have these things in my hand. I have to try. I'm one of those guys. Hopefully that turns into something I could do one day, right? Where I like to be hands-on.
Yeah, man. That could be a part-time job, bro. You could be a miner.
Yeah, not necessarily a miner, but just I think about MVK. MVK, I hope we could get MVK on the podcast. He's creator of CoinKite, owner of CoinKite, CoCard, all that stuff. He's a very knowledgeable dude, and I heard him on the podcast, and he was saying that everything he was saying kind of reminded me of him. And he was like, "Look, when I was younger, I just always wanted to take things apart. I always wanted to put them together. I always wanted to try stuff. I would go on like clothing and stuff like that to just buy the newest tech that I could break apart. And that kind of just sums up pretty much my whole teenage life if you think about it. So it was very cool, and that's why I say, like, us people that are like that are like hands-on, we'll find a way to just put something together. So shout out to MBK. But Compass Mining, I'm definitely interested in doing that myself. They seem to be doing good things. The announcement is that I think it's in Texas. I don't know if it's they as a group or the owner of Compass Mining. Either way, it's big. Are going to be allowed to be on the Mining and Energy Committee for Texas to pass legislation. Yeah. We need people that understand this to be able to pass proper legislation. There's
still Bitcoin, quote unquote, waste energy articles going around. So someone like Compass on a board somewhere, like they're going to be the one setting the record straight.
Big for them, big for their company too.
And they have to be working basically to have all of their facilities to be renewable. You know what I mean? Like even regular companies are working obviously to bring their carbon footprint down. So they're trying to all go green anyway. They have to be on that race, and hopefully they make big things happen.
Yeah, more credit to them.
And then, like states are going to roll out electric incentives or some type of incentives for people to mine.
Yeah, you know I mean, but once we get past all the FUD, but the FUD will be knock it down, knock it down, knock it down. And I still think the arguments that I've heard for, the Bitcoin energy waste, I don't like to use the word waste, but that's what they're saying. Bitcoin's energy waste. I think it was Michael Saylor's point, somebody's point, where, if it's to secure this life-changing freedom go up technology,
it's worth it.
Well worth it. I got a refrigerator right here.
Again, bro, my neighbors still have their Christmas lights on.
I remember you brought that up. Yeah.
It is May. Yeah. It's May.
I got a fridge down here. It doesn't do shit. All my groceries fit upstairs. I got a fridge down here because my wife decided to do some frozen stuff one summer, and here we are. The fridge is still there. That thing is going. That ain't safeguarding nobody's life. Right. That's not doing anything. Right. So, man, Compass Mining, shout out to them. Yep. We got about 2-3 minutes left. I do have here thoughts on the conference 2021. What do you think, man?
Yeah.
Before we sign off.
I mean, listen, I think it's super cool. Yeah. But you're going to have a bunch of new millionaires who are in their 20s and 30s all in the same spot. Yeah. And then they announced the Mayweather fight at the same time. Yeah. So it's going to be quite the crowd down there. We were on South Beach for the Super Bowl and a little bit after. And, it's... I don't know, man. Yeah. Things can get crazy real quick. So,
fellow Bitcoiners, fellow plebs, be careful out there. If you guys are going out there, we care about all of y'all.
But outside of that, it should be incredible.
It should be incredible. They announced Lynn Alden today and Elizabeth Spark from Lightning Labs today, and I'm over here like, but
they announced Kevin O'Leary, and I'm like, get him out of here, bro.
There was a few people they got to get the fuck out of there.
It was Chamath. They kicked
somebody.
Out.
They got somebody out of there for being a shitcoiner. Yeah, so. They're kind of treading that line, but this goes back to the businesses have to be businesses. I get it, but the plebs are going to come for that. Yeah. And when you talk about like, the Hornets are coming, like as long as y'all ready to take on that, do as you wish. But it should be Bitcoin only. These companies have proven that the Bitcoin friendly ones. About 2021, I didn't think it was the right year for me, man. I think it was just delay gratification, learn more, network more, talk more before I go down there and just spend stupid money that I could just stack right now.
You'd spend $1,500 to $2,000.
And that's safe.
Or you could buy Bitcoin.
And that's safe because, like you said, you're hanging around a bunch of millionaires. You think, I speak for males. I'm not going to speak for females. You think the male ego is not going to be like, well, I'm going to up it. Yeah. Male ego always kicks in. We always got to up something, and there's going to be a lot of money being thrown around. Yeah. And it's kind of one of those weird things where it's like, well, if the conference is kind of the only ones benefiting from all this Bitcoin that's about to be exchanged, I don't know if I want to give them any of that. Yeah. But have fun. Anybody going down there?
Yep.
The guest list is super jam-packed, and I'm sure it's going to be hella fun to be able to get around people again and a no bullshit situation. It's going to be fun. Be careful out there. I don't know shit about the Mayweather fight. I don't care about that. But yeah, the population is going to be crazy down there.
It's just going to be.
Yeah, just maybe if they have one next year, delay gratification till next year. Going to Austin later in June anyways, so that's more of my alley.
Yeah,
I like to do these
next month, my man.
Yeah, I like to do these adventure things. I don't really like to do the touristy things, if that makes sense. But hey, stay safe out there, people. Don't give up your corn.
Yeah, hold your keys.
Yeah, turn fiat into lightning or something during the event and buy drinks or whatever. Don't give up your corn.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. And there's going to be a lot of temptation to give up your corn.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Episode 21.
21.
And the books, that's 3 touchdowns.
Let's get it.
We're getting on that Tom Brady level.
Let's get it.
Yeah. So guys, please rate, share, and subscribe. Hit all the call to actions. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe down below. Support the show with the links down below. If you're listening on the podcast, support, leave comments, leave reviews. That helps us go up on the list so more people can get this information and we could propagate all over with this beautiful information that we're getting. We appreciate you guys as always. See you next week.
Peace.
Later.